Hi guys, this is week 34 Project Life and I am still using the gorgeous September kits from Citrus Twist. I wasn't super happy with my photos this week. They are really quite dark and dull, so I'm attempting to pick out some cards from the kit that are more sort of light and bright. I'm gonna do a lot of stamping this week, so I'm just trying to pick some really kind of neutrally sort of bases for those. I needed three 3x4 cards, and one I'm going to use as a prompt for my journaling. I didn't have a lot of journaling so much this week, things to say, so I'm going to use that things I love about right now card and list those things and just use that as a journal prompt. I picked out two of the 6x8 papers. One is a really light wood grain and the other one is this nice messy black and white kind of polka dots. They're messy polka dots, but I really like it. And that is the basics for my page. Now I had a few extra photos this week that didn't fit on this page, but weren't enough to do a 2-page spread. So I've got a solution for that and I'm gonna do a separate video later in the week, so make sure you check that out on Friday. Now here's where I'm going to start my stamping. I have grabbed the Conversation Starters version 2 stamp set. These are great little phrases. I mean, as you can see, there's millions of them on there. And they're perfect for what I'm going to do here, which is just make this background card. I ended up using this card without the sentiment. My photo is going to cover up the sentiment, so I just wanted to add a little bit of something to the blue of the card. So you can see I've just repeat stamped one of those phrases from the multiple phrases on that set, just to add a little bit of texture, I guess, to the card, a little bit of interest. But those stamps are perfect for journal prompts, or I mean, guess as the name says, conversation starters, but this is the second version of this stamp set and it's just as good as the first one. Now again, I'm covering up it's not really a sentiment, but the kind of embellishment on this card, just because I wanted the neutral background for my Instax photo. And with Instax photos, I always glue them and staple them because the glue doesn't tend to hold that well. Now I filled out the journaling, as I said. I filled that out on my typewriter, so it's a little bit messy, but I kind of like the look of it. And now I'm going to do a little bit more stamping. So this is the Magic Happen stamp set and it's really great. It's got these beautiful scripty words and I kind of want to use as many of those as I can, as well as all those ticket stamps, label-y ticket sort of shapes. I really love those too. Now I went to stamp on this photo of my sister and her partner. This week we went to the gender reveal, and so I realized I hadn't stuck the photo down, so it was wiggling around as I was trying to stamp. I just stacked those 3 stamps together and stamped them all in one go and it worked out well, so that was nice. And I'm using my Brilliance Moonlight White to stamp on this photo, which I guess is one advantage of having dark photos. It does mean I can use my white ink to stamp on them, which is always a plus in my books. Because I've got those 2 sort of scripty fonts, I was desperately trying to find a place to put a third one in. I couldn't really find one, and this stamp here ended up being more perfect for the photo rather than trying to force a sentiment to fit. So I just stamped that and it fits perfectly in the tickets. I'm sure that was designed, but it was just a shock to me that it fit perfectly in there. So I used, again, the white ink to stamp that ticket, and I'm gonna do a couple more around the page here. This one in black, and I'm gonna do another one in white up the top here. Now you can see, it probably pays to clean your stamps between the black and the white. I do have my chamois out and didn't do it, and then managed to get black ink all over my white ink pad, which isn't a great move. Now I was desperately trying to fill up these other tickets with stamps, and it didn't work. There weren't any that really were going to fit in there or worked with the photos, and again, rather than trying to force it, I decided to crack open my embellishment kit and add a few of these stickers. They're from the Willow Lane collection and they're black but they're transparent, so they're perfect for adding instead of stamps here. So I did fit one into that ticket shape, and then that cute stamp was perfect for the photo of the little gender reveal envelope. And I'm adding one to my Instax photo too. And I still haven't managed to fit anything into my top ticket shape. So I went back through the conversation starters stamp again and did manage to find one that worked with the photo and fit into the ticket. So I was very pleased. It's one of those things, if you've seen that video from Ellie Edwards about sort of technique recipes that she uses to catch up on project life, it was something that resounded really for me because I do it a lot. You'll see that a lot. I like repeating the same elements on a page. It does make the whole spread a bit more cohesive, especially when I've got reasonably average photos like today. So you can see I'm kind of doing the same thing again. I started sticking down a couple of these little heart stickers, and then instead of a couple, I decided to add one to every photo on my page. So really all I've got left to do now is to finish up my title card, and the only alphas that were in the any of the kits this month at Citrus Twist were these craft ones in the embellishment kit, and I added them in. I wasn't really that keen on them, but because they're the only ones, I added them in, and then I really didn't like the look of them, so I pulled them back off again and went and grabbed some alphas from my stash. And I was shocked actually that I had 2 E's left on this set because I really like this black alpha. I tend to mostly have black alphas, I guess, so the E's tend to go pretty quickly. I had enough for week 34, so that was perfect. I need a label for my date stamping, so I'm going to use one of the labels. I'm just going to stamp it. I only need a bit of it. It's quite a large label, tickety looking stamp from that Magic Happens stamp set. I just stamped it onto a bit of scrap paper there and trimmed it out, and I can stick it down slightly off the card and then trim out the piece that I didn't need before I add in my date stamps. Now, I had to make sure I was getting the right dates there. I almost stamped the wrong one, and then I badly stamped the second one, but it is what it is. I wasn't going to redo it because that is this week all finished. Check out the additional stamps in the Citrus Twist shop. They've got some really great ones, and I know if you subscribe this month, you can pick a stamp set for free, so there's always that too. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, there's a couple more videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye!